But Leyla, what do you want from Christmas Switch 4?
Hear me out.
Okay.
I really love what you have written down here, which is
Okay.
that we need to make Olivia a princess, so we skip. Well, Olivia is technically a princess, but like...
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, she's already a princess. But yeah,
Exactly.
we're going to make her at least 18.
Exactly. Hear me out. We go Resident Evil in this bitch.
Oh, hell yeah. Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm someone that looks like Leyla, but isn't.
And this week, we rob the Vatican in Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. Before we do a sexy laser grid evasion sequence, remember you can help us on Mortified the Legitimacy Quest by subscribing to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, signing up for our monthly newsletter through the link in our show notes, or following us on Twitter and Tumblr at MortifiedPod. Leyla.
Aaron?
Do you remember the last time we covered the Princess Switch franchise?
I do. It was almost exactly a year ago.
Mm-hmm. If my notes serve me correctly, not only did we cover Princess Switch 2, but we also covered the Christmas episode of Neo Yokio and did our end of the year recap.
Wow, busy day for Mortified.
Yeah, which is a wild episode. But I think we had such a good time with Princess Switch 2 that we just had to devote a full episode to its sequel, Princess Switch 3.
Right, and I mean, I remember when the trailer dropped, because we knew it was coming. We knew Princess Switch 3 was in development, and I remember at the time we were both like, there's going to be 4 Vanessa Ann Hudgens. What we didn't know is that there were just going to be 3, but it was going to be a fucking heist.
Which is, I think, 100% the best way to do this.
Yes.
It was incredible the whole way through. So I'm very excited that we watched it, and I'm very excited to talk about it with you.
Absolutely. I believe it is your turn to do the summary.
Excellent. Good. So, you know the Vatican Star of Peace, right? The Vatican has this big fancy gold star that allegedly belonged to St. Nicholas. Is
that real?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I would probably have learned about that in Catholic school, but I don't think it's real. But basically, it's like a big, cool Christmas star, and they loan it to our protagonists, Stacy and Margaret, both played by Vanessa Ann Hudgens. Stacy and Margaret are both princesses, / queens. I'm not sure what their status as like government heads is. It's fine. But they're doing like this big fundraiser or whatever, this big Christmas thing, and the Vatican loans them the star. But it is immediately stolen by, nobody knows. The police don't have any leads. So what do? They bring in a consultant who is, of course, the antagonist from Princess Switch 2, the cat burglar, thief, and cousin of Margaret, Fiona, or as we are going to be referring to her as evil Vanessa Ann Hudgens, who is, of course, the best character in this film. But they bring her in as a ringer to help them track down who stole this, and she in turn consults her sexy ex-Interpol boyfriend Peter, and together they figure out that a rich billionaire man stole the star. And what are they gonna do? They heist it back, and basically they do the revenge heist of the season with not only the help of Peter, but also the help of Fiona's Team Rocket hench people, which kick ass. Their names are, of course, Reggie and Mindy. And they all get together. Peter runs them through like a practice heist. They go to this party where the star is at. They heist the star, but all of a sudden, at the end, there's a big mix-up. And Peter, it seems like, has stolen the star for himself. But at the end, he hands it back over to evil Vanessa Ann Hudgens and reveals that he just wanted to get her to talk to her mom, who she's been estranged from for several decades, which is the weakest part of the movie. But at the end, there's a really cool dance sequence. So, it's not... it's not quite. I'm gonna ding it for that mom thing there at the end, but otherwise, a pretty perfect movie, I would say.
Yeah, as somebody who is estranged from several family members, I hated that part. I hated that Peter was meddling in it because you see, my personal quest in this film, was figuring out which simp was my favorite one because all of the boyfriends are complete and total simps. And Peter, as you mentioned, sexy as hell, just a fine specimen of man. I had to ding him for meddling in family affairs like that. It was absolutely the least favorite part of my movie for me. But by fucking God, the rest of it is the most impeccable shit I've ever seen in my life. Starting with the fact that it literally took 5 minutes from them to do the recap of Princess Switch 1 and 2 and then be like, this artifact from the Vatican is gone. We have to call the evil one to steal it back.
It's perfect. They knew exactly what we wanted, and they gave it to us. This is, we love to talk about when the people who are creating a product do fan service, and this is an extremely fan servicey film, I believe. Not only for us, but for Vanessa Ann Hudgens personally, I think.
Oh yeah, she gets to make out with 3 incredibly hot dudes. It's fantastic. Four incredibly hot dudes.
If you count the evil billionaire, yeah. We'll talk about that. But so let's start with Stacy, who is U.S. Vanessa Ann Hudgens, married to basically the Prince of England. Although they they do call the Queen. There's a brief reference to them trying to invite the Queen and the corgis to this Christmas party, which is extremely funny. But
the implication is that the Queen really wants to go to this Christmas party.
Yeah, which rules. But yeah, what did you think of Stacy in this one?
I like that she's still a scamp. I also like that when it comes time, there's a plot line where Fiona's disciplinary hearing gets moved up to Christmas Eve for some reason instead of the day after Christmas, which is a wild thing. Stacy goes with Prince Edward, who is her husband, the British one, to be Fiona for the disciplinary hearing because Fiona's busy doing the heist. And in it, Edward is trying to help Fiona out and be like, I'm a character witness, even though she kidnapped my wife. And the wife who had been kidnapped is sitting there, asked Fiona, going, actually, I think you should extend my sentence. I actually think that I should do more community service, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. I was like, Stacy, why are you being such a cop here? But then again, she did get kidnapped. It's like, that's fair. I get it, girl. Yeah,
it was messy, I do think, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, it's good. They don't give Stacy too much to do. This is very much Fiona's film, which I think was a smart choice. But yeah, she was pretty good. What do you think about Margaret, our UK Vanessa Ann Hudgens?
She's fine. I think she's always fine. I like that she. I like her when they were like, oh, you should be Fiona. And everyone was like, she can't be Fiona. And she then is Fiona. She does a really good impression of her. I thought that was funny that she was making fun of her cousin like that. How did you feel about her? Did she thrill you in any way? Did she do anything particularly outstanding?
I liked the part where they had to switch her for evil Fiona, so that way she had to seduce the billionaire. And there's an incredible sequence where Fiona and Margaret are teaching each other the tango, or Fiona is teaching Margaret the tango because they know that this billionaire loves the tango. I just want to have a project that is so self-indulgent that I'm just like, I'm gonna tango with myself, and that rules. I think that every time that she is trying to be sexy, and obnoxious like Fiona is, she's always like, oh hey there, meow, and then as soon as the person that they're talking to moves away, she's just like, oh dear, oh blimey. It's really funny. There's a part where the bad guy's like, oh, would you like to see my Christmas tree? And she's like, I guess. It's really good.
Yeah, the tango sequence is really, really good. I also would like to shout out the fact that during the end credits dance sequence, because it's shots from all the scenes and all the crew are dancing to this fun song. It's incredibly cute. First of all, shout out to Prince Edward, who fully buys into the dancing, and just Colin Firth and Mamma Mia's it. The confidence, the moves, love it. You do see the Vanessa Ann Hudgens body double from the tango scene in one of those shots.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Yes, she's in the robe in the tango scene. So I thought that was
Incredible.
really cute that she got to do that.
Very good. Let's talk about Fiona, our star.
Oh, fucking the star of peace herself. The real papal ornament in this movie.
Yeah, it's very, like, there's, like, okay, Fiona was such a popular character in Princess Switch 2. We have to give her a whole elaborate backstory and, like, tragic past, which is extremely unnecessary. But, like, you know, it shows that they're trying to invest in the character, and, you know, like, again, I think all the backstory stuff was kind of boring, but, like, I don't know, they gave her a bunch of really silly stuff. Like, there's a portion where they're trying to get an invitation to this party, and, like, the way that they're going to do that is they're going to have her randomly bump into this billionaire while he's walking his dog in the park. And there's just, like, a 2-minute scene where she is walking a very large dog, and the dog gets away from her and just pulls her straight through a hedge, and she disappears. And it's just, like, there's no other reason to have that except for, like, to have Vanessa Ann Hudgens do something silly. And I was like, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit she does that's just flat out funny and flat out silly. I love that all the other Vanessa Ann Hudgens complain about the heels Fiona has to wear because she's literally just like mopping in cockroach killers, which I love for her. I think every look that Fiona has is stellar. It's either spot on for the character or I'm jealous of it. Like, there's a cape that she wears that's dope as shit. There's a skeleton hand bracelet that we're both trying to find, and it's so cool that, like, we caught it in the middle of a shot and we're like, what?
It's the one where she's doing her community service, like, at the Abbey, and she is wearing this extremely stylish outfit with, like, this golden skeleton hand while she's holding a mop, and she's just, like, talking to the nuns. It's fucking sick.
It's dope as shit. I love Fiona so much. I was waiting for a line, because her delivery as Fiona of any line is stellar. All her acting is in her shoulders. The meow, like, gets me every time. But I was waiting for, like, a lull from last movie, because I did rewatch Princess Switch 2 and 3. Like, I watched them back to back. Lull and the World Tour of Orphans. Like, I needed something like that, but it's fine. It's fine that we didn't get it. I've made my peace with it. Every time she calls Prince Edward Royal Six Pack, my heart grows three sizes. She is the best character, I think, in cinema.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I would also like to point out that she is doing her community service at St. Michael's, which is a callback to the last movie, because the orphans were at St. Matthew's. But when Fiona was impersonating British Vanessa Ann Hudgens, she kept saying that the orphans were at St. Michael's, and everyone kept correcting her, and they were like, don't you mean St. Matthew's? And that's when the World Tour of Orphans line happens. And then she does her fucking community service at St. Michael's.
That's really good.
Excellent callback. The Princess Switch cinematic universe is fucking thrilling.
Incredible. How do you feel about our princes? I think we can do them all at once.
Yeah, let's. Do you have a ranking for them?
You know, I think it's probably Peter, Edward, and Kevin. One, just because Peter is played by Remy Hee, who was not only in Crazy Rich Asians, but he was also he was also in Arcane, that League of Legends show. And like I just finished Jade City like a couple days ago, and I want him to play Hilo, Carl Hilo, in the Greenbone Saga or TV show that's going to be coming to Peacock. I liked him. I like that he, you know, I think that the family stuff is very bad, but I attribute that to bad writing and not to his character. There is one thing, is that like his whole deal is that he's ex-Interpol and he's now founded a security firm or whatever. And they don't say like cybersecurity. And the fact that he has like grappling guns does make me worried that he runs a paramilitary organization. So like I don't want to dig too deep into Peter's background and find out that he's like running Blackwater too, but I was so happy to see an Asian man be like a desirable person in this. So props to Peter. You know, Edward is next. I think Edward is great just because he's just like doing the he is being, harassed by Fiona. He's just like, please, I don't like you. And then he does the cool thing with Stacy and the Abbey. And then Kevin is just basically not in this movie because he has to go on an 8-hour drive to see his sister, which sucks, but what are you going to do?
His daughter.
Oh, his daughter. Thank you.
Yes, Olivia's his daughter. I was sad Olivia wasn't really in this movie, and Kevin either, because Kevin's a fun character. I do dock Peter for fucking with the family stuff, even though the actor is fine as hell. Holy shit. Kevin also fine as hell. Like, truly, what the fuck, Vanessa Ann Hudgens, you go girl, perfect career, making out with these dudes in these films. I will say Prince Edward edges Peter out because I had to dock Peter for the family stuff, but I love that Prince Edward is the stupidest man alive. Is somehow so detached from pop culture that he does not know that Batman and Catwoman are not a team. He just thinks that because they both have pointy ears, they're a team, and he keeps trying to make references that don't land. But the moment his wife is in trouble, or his wife has a stupid idea, or a 12-year-old tells him he's being a helicopter husband, he's bought in. He's like, you're right, I am hovering. And I love my wife so much that even though I made her promise she was never going to pull this weird fucking switcheroo shit ever again, I'm going to let her do it 2 more times. And I'm going to be all for it. And I'm going to support it so much, I'm going to go with her to do a lie. And then he, what did he call it? After they were done with lying in the Abbey.
Skullduggery, I believe.
Skullduggery. He's like, ooh, all of the skullduggery is kind of thrilling. I was like, that was when I decided. I'm like, you're my favorite. That's
great.
The dumbest shit I've ever heard anybody say.
Wasn't his plot in the last movie in Princess Switch 2 that he just wanted to fuck?
And all he wanted to do was fuck, and you know what? I respect that.
Incredible. You have anything notes about Team Rocket?
I love them.
They're great.
The dumbest idiots alive.
They're very stupid. They have a lot of fun. Like, when the heist goes bad, the guy is immediately just like, I'm leaving. Goodbye. We're ditching them. He falls off of a grappling hook at one point and breaks his neck and his leg, which is very funny. They're just goofballs. And although the girl, Maggie, does do like the hacking at one point, which is like, you know what? They're dependable ish. And I respect that. There's a very cute sequence with them bantering at one point. They're great side characters.
The slapstick fucking physical comedy that they do is so good, and it's them. And shout out also to I think his name is Fred. He's Prince Edward's like footman. He always has the dumbest ideas, and in the second movie he was like driving them to get Stacy from Team Rocket, and he was like took his hands off the steering wheel to go, and thank God these things are registered weapons, sir. And like he brings that energy into this heist. Like he is fully committed. He's in costume. He's ready to go. He's the only at one point they have to get out of there and he's like buying a hot dog or some shit.
Yeah, honestly, that's really good.
The side characters are just the fucking primo ballerinas. I love them all so much.
Yes, they are committed and they're stupid and we love them.
And they know what movie they're in.
Yes, exactly. They know exactly what we want and they give it to us. Do you have any notes about the bad guy? I don't even know his name.
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, he's like horny. I like that. I like that everybody in this franchise is extremely horny.
Yeah. It's not because this franchise knows who's watching and what we want. It is just dipshits like us sitting at home going, I want a Hallmark Christmas movie, but twice the budget and 3 times the Vanessa Ann Hudgens.
God, you're so right. So the thing about the Princess Switch franchise is that, like, I think it is the opposite of we talked about when we did One Piece earlier in the year about how like some creators just like hit on a gold mine and they are kind of trapped in it forever. I think this is the opposite of that, where it's just like, this probably isn't especially lucrative for Vanessa Ann Hudgens, but like if she is a producer on this, she's basically just like, I'm gonna give myself 4 hot men to make out with. I'm gonna get like 40 different sick outfits. I'm gonna be doing the coolest stunts. I'm gonna be a sweet character. I'm gonna be a fun character. I'm gonna be a mean character all at once. Like, I'm so happy that this is, I think that Vanessa Ann Hudgens is certainly not a perfect person, but like, this is kind of a really great thing just to see somebody being like, I'm a rich person, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and like, this is the benign rich person stuff that I wish we saw more of.
Yes, it's goofy. I love it. It's so goofy. And it's like, there's an episode of The Good Place where the lady who plays Janet, whose name I usually know but am blanking on, she has to play every single character on the show because they're trapped in her like inner world and she has to physically be all of them. And it's like a feat of acting. Vanessa Ann Hudgens gives us the same fucking shit. She is giving us Fiona as Margaret, Stacy as Fiona, Margaret as Stacy, and it's fucking all of them loop-de-looping around each other in layers. And I buy it every time. I can tell who's who. It's like the performances are so hammy and so completely fucking bonkers that they're fun to watch. Like, you can tell these aren't real people, but they're just real enough that you're invested in them emotionally. And then you can also watch them do like slapstick humor shit like you were talking about when she gets pulled through a bush. It's phenomenal. And you have a note here that we need to talk about the fucking looks.
Yeah, she has like 100 different outfits and they all look incredible. We talked about the 6 skeleton hand, but there's also like, there is like a really cool gold sparkly dress in one, which is great. Like that's
it's got
kind
like
of
a train.
Yeah, it looks incredible. There's also like a tango outfit that Margaret comes out in, which like it's just a dress that's like specifically styled off of like tango style dresses, and that looks great. I don't know anything about fashion, but I just know that there are like a lot of cool colors, and like even fucking when Fiona is in her heist outfit, like her black like basically like long sleeve shirt also has like a back cutout, so it's sexy. And I was just like, yes, that's perfect. What else do you want?
Yeah, Margaret wears a really pretty pink dress that's like a sheer florals thing over like a pink slip that I love. Stacy has a really cool suit that has like a much deeper V than I anticipated in this like world. And man, I just love looking at Vanessa Ann Hudgens having a good time. These people, it's like, have you ever watched Mamma Mia?
A long time ago. I don't remember any of it.
God, there's a gift set that goes around on Tumblr every once in a while.
With Colin Firth. That's the only thing I know where it's like, Colin Firth really put his whole pussy into this performance, huh?
This is the most accurate way I've ever heard that described. But like, yeah, like that's the thing is Vanessa Ann Hudgens is fully bought into her own fantasy, and it's so much fun to watch because everyone else is also bought into it, and it's ridiculous and it's weird, and there's like Team Rocket fucking henchmen, and she looks so fucking good doing it because even the cartoonish outfits are like really well fitted. She's got like, I think for the ending scene, Fiona has a hat made out of gemstones. Bonkers. Unhinged. I love it. There are so many like puffy jackets and silhouettes happening. It's like, I want the skeleton hand. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, some of the outfits I was like, this is a great character piece. And some of the outfits are like, I would wear that.
I wish I was the kind of person that could pull off a gold skeleton hand. Like,
you absolutely can.
One of these days, I'm going to go to some event with a 6 skeleton hand, and people are going to be like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, it's from Princess Switch 3. You probably don't even know about it.
I'm going to get us matching skeleton hands the moment I get a job.
Hell yeah. Excellent.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be cool as hell. The thing that I like best about Princess Switch 3, I think, is that they don't do 4 Vanessa Ann Hudgenses, which like would be hilarious, but like this franchise, like you cannot introduce too many characters into it, otherwise it becomes way too top heavy. But they do the very smart thing of turning it into a heist, which like adds a certain level of energy that I think would not have been able to be maintained if not only there were 4 VAHs, but also like it was just like, and now we have to date more. Like there is definitely like that sexy romantic tension, but adding that dimension of a heist, like the practice laser grid scene is extremely hot when both Peter and Fiona are like going through the lasers and they have to boost each other up and their like faces are really close together.
And it's set to the tango that is happening upstairs.
Yes, it fucking owns. Like, listen, if you're a villain or somebody who has like a priceless artifact they want to possess, do you want to just put like a big laser wall around it? No, you want to do the laser grid, right? Because that way, at least if you get robbed, you know that somebody did a really cool, sexy flipping routine and they had to work for it. And like, I think that's perfect. If I ever own some sort of Vatican artifact, that's what I'm going to do. And as long as you can steal it, as long as you make sure that it's on camera and, you know, you look great and have a great time.
If you were a supervillain, a billionaire supervillain with a priceless artifact that you stole and somebody had to steal it back. So, like, this guy had his two quirks. He really liked the tango and he really liked martinis. That was his two things. What were your two things be?
I think my two things are that I really like swords. And that I cannot say no to chocolate, I guess. I don't know that that's especially, that's just me. That's just my thing. I don't think I have a especially good, I wouldn't be a good billionaire is the thing.
Yeah, I would also just drown in my own guilt.
Yeah.
I think my two things would be, like, I would always have an entrance. So, like, always ready to whirl around with a cat on my lap. You know, like, I'm always prepared. Like we were talking about in The Mummy, I would have, like, an assistant running around going, okay, the angles are right here. They're standing over there on this side of the hallway. So if you come in through the west door, I can get the spotlight. And I would be like, thank you. That would be it for me. And then I think my like, other vice, I do feel like something handheld is, like, appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, the martini thing feels right. I think my handheld thing, I think I would just adopt drinking iced coffee out of some sort of stemmed glass. I know that's incorrect, but I feel like by the time I got to be a billionaire, I would already be so morally corrupt that it wouldn't even faze me. I
would love to see you drinking just like a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee out of a champagne glass with a little straw coming out of it.
I drink like dead-ass milk out of wine glasses. That's like a thing I do. I walk around my house, and if I want to feel a little fancy, I'll put some oat milk in a wine glass, and I'll just walk around.
You just need a skeleton hand, and you can do that, and a cape, and you're already a supervillain. That would be incredible. We should talk about the very, very stupid third act twist.
Dumbest.
So they make the very poor choice here in Princess Switch 3. Like, they were seeding it so much so that I thought that this, you know, Fiona's mom was going to be the person who actually stole the star. But, like, they basically are just like, hey, Fiona's mom was never there for her, and it was always going on flights, and, you know, she grew up very lonely. And at the very end, they bring her mom in, and they have to reconcile, and it's just a very strange energy to add to, like, the third act of your film, where it's just like, everything's gone off great. Oh, no, there's a complication. But it's that your mom wants to reconcile, and it's just, I don't know why they did this.
She wants to reconcile, and it was in the stupidest way possible, where she just comes in and she says, there's a void in my life, and it's because I want my daughter, but she's never, ever, 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 ever on or off screen displayed wanting to talk to her daughter other than calling her, which is not a thing. Like, that's not enough.
No, it doesn't work.
I think it extra annoyed me that Peter was getting involved in it, because he kept being like, you should call your mom, boo. If a man ever was like, you should call your father, I would not only dump him, I would ruin him. Are you fucking kidding me? Especially having seen what her mom was like completely just abandoning her, and the fact that their friendship was formed out of the fact that she was so lonely. He needed to, like, help her not be lonely at this, like, boarding school for orphan teens.
Yeah.
What was this plot line? What was the point of this plot line?
Yeah, Peter says the line, like, he's like, you're running away, like, just like your mom always did. And, like, I love Peter. If a man ever says that to a woman, that man should be shot on sight. It's just, you don't do that. Fellas, don't Don't.
Yeah, no, it was truly. I'm telling you, that's why Peter got docked. Even though I love the fact that he's like a competent simp who's willing to put up with the Team Rocket shenanigans. And it's a very like, it gave me the vibes of I'll Make a Man Out of You, like that sequence, which is so many people our age's sexual awakening. Captain Lee Shang, also fine as hell. And it just, this whole weird like, I'm going to tell you how to feel, and I know you really well, therefore I get to dictate how you overcome your shortcomings. I was like, what is this? Why is it in my otherwise perfect film?
Yeah, it was the biggest flaw. Wish they didn't do it. When we revise this script, it will not be anything like that.
2050...
When we release the remastered version of Princess Switched.
Yeah, we're going to cut around it.
Yeah. But since we are, of course, having been in contact with producer Vanessa Ann Hudgens, we're proud to announce we are going to be producing, co-producing, co-writing, co-directing Christmas Switched 4. We figured we would crowdsource some ideas, but Leyla, what do you want from Christmas Switch 4?
Hear me out. I really love what you have written down here, which is that we need to make Olivia a princess, so we time skip. Well, Olivia is technically a princess, but like...
that's a good point. Yeah, she's already a princess. But yeah, we're going to make her at least 18.
Exactly. Hear me out. We go Resident Evil in this bitch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because the implication here, right, is that she has somebody who looks exactly like her that isn't related to her. What if that's like a, Umbrella-style genetic experimentation thing, and it goes wrong, and like 3 Olivias have to overcome a zombie apocalypse?
Yes, we get that's how we get Vanessa Ann Hudgens, that she's been kidnapped, and it's revealed that all of these 3 were actually genetic clones by the Abstergo Corporation, and now Olivia training with her other clones. And also, I guess I want Kevin and Peter because I think I want both of them to have more screen time. Probably Fiona too. I think Fiona doesn't get kidnapped. I want them all to have to fight zombies in Christmas Switch or Princess Switch 4.
What if
the
people who get kidnapped are Edward, because he's such a simp, like I just can't. Mm-hmm. He'd go with her this time.
Yes, of course.
Margaret, and then they think they got Fiona, but it's actually
Stacy.
Oh, no, not Stacy. What's her? Well, they already got Stacy. It's actually the female henchman in a wig.
Oh, Maggie.
It's Maggie in a wig, which leaves Fiona, Peter, and Kevin as like the mentor team to coach the Olivias.
Mm-hmm. They have to train Olivia to figure out how to be Vanessa Ann Hudgens.
But Olivia's at that fucking ballet academy. Mm-hmm. So she and Kevin, part of the movie has to be the journey to Montanaro.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Good.
Hey, Vanessa. Call us.
We're available.
We're so ready.
Yes, you're going to have a blockbuster on your hands for sure. You don't even need to keep the budget the same. As long as you have the same budget for outfits, we'll be fine. The makeup we'll figure out.
I have an alternative, not an alternative, I have an additional, perhaps marketing suggestion based on something you said earlier.
Okay.
Remember how you said we don't know what Peter's fucking up to?
Yes.
I think Peter should be in Fast 10.
I would like that.
Mm-hmm. Because, listen, we don't know what the fuck he's doing. What if he's working for Mr. Nobody?
Yes, there we go. The crossover event of the season. We get Vin Diesel, is tracking down, a bunch of car terrorists. And who does he turn to get the secret information? It's Peter and his private military corporation. And then, of course, Vanessa and Hudgens is in Fast 10, of course, for some reason.
It's The Switched and the Furious.
God, that is definitely a BDSM movie at some point. Oh, no! Somewhere out there.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lord. Yeah, so I think Vanessa and Vin Diesel. Call us.
Hit us up.
Hit us up.
Oh, do you have any more points you want to hit about this incredible film?
It's perfect and everyone should watch it.
I agree. Leyla, when we're not spinning studio gold, blockbusters, revamping franchises, just really giving Scorsese a run for his money, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at LEYLSCS on Tumblr and Twitter. I just wrote another essay about how the vocabulary you use in your RPGs with regards to like stats and things you can do, actionable vocabulary, contributes not only to your world building, but player retention. That's been fun. So yeah, Aaron, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter at AaronSXL, where I talk about health policy and tabletop RPGs. You can listen to the other podcast I do at The Bible Boys. We are doing sort of a show and tell. We're doing Christian urban legends this week. If you've ever heard that Footprints in the Sand poem, I'm going to be talking about that, the origins of that. And I'm pretty sure Michael is bringing the Christmas Shoes song, which is going to be pretty wild. And I don't know what Josh is going to bring, but I'm sure they will do something wild. As far as tabletop RPGs go, I did just release Time Skip, which is a tool to help advance your characters into the future. If you want to see your characters in your already established tabletop game do things like training montages or get new outfits or have kids, consider picking up Time Skip. It's $3. I think it's neat. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Well, Leyla, what should we say as we close out another episode?
Merry Switchmas, Aaron.
Merry Switchmas to all, and to all a good night.